I got 4 hours of sleep last night. And it was totally worth it. Happy Friday, everybody. So, okay. Yesterday really was just that sort of, how do I put this? It's so good I can't describe it, I can't put it into words. It was just a combination of all the right people and all the right things at the right time of day coming together and once again further proving that I'm having an extremely good year. It is. I mean, to put things into perspective, this entire week my mom has been completely like worried that the weather is starting to cool down, and yesterday was supposed to be when that begins. And granted, it did rain yesterday, but not until very late afternoon, early evening. So, even weather-wise, it's been solid. I mean, right now, it's overcast. And, true, it's overcast, but I would still say it's still beautiful outside. I like overcast weather sometimes, you know that. But, if for my low, all I could say is that I'm sad yesterday ended for me at 1:20 in the morning, then I really don't know how to hype up how just great yesterday was. I mean, from 5 o'clock in the evening onward, that was my high. And if I had any act of kindness yesterday, it was, I did some stuff the other day for my grandma, and, I saw him play with my nephews for a minute or two. But, yeah. I mean, where do I even begin about yesterday? Okay, well, first of all, let me explain. I have some very dear friends of mine visiting from the state of Florida. They moved down there a few years ago. But they visit every once in a while. And last year I saw them at my friend's wedding, one of the two weddings that legit saved 2022 for me last year. In fact, they're one of those that my friends are one of the reasons why that wedding was just so special to me, right? So they're visiting for a week actually. And they arrived on Wednesday, and last year when they came here, I got to see them at Elbow Room too, but they went to Elbow Room right away, and I missed that. But they went to Horseheads Brewing Company last night, and so I met them there, with a few other people as well. And again, from 5 o'clock onward, I knew the evening was going to be good. I didn't think it'd be like this. I've been to Horseheads Brewing Company one other time, and that was actually the first time I met the owner of Peas Macarons in person. So, a good 4 years ago. And actually, almost 4 years ago, because it was late October, early November when I first went to Horseheads Brewing. And that was the first night in years I saw that one girl who broke my heart. In a way, I guess it was kind of emotionally fitting I went back to Horseheads Brewing, because the last time I went to Horseheads Brewing, again, that was the first time in years I'd seen that one girl who would eventually break my heart. But I wouldn't know it. But obviously I wouldn't know that at the time. And keep in mind, this has only ever happened twice. So I'm not going to say, if I go to Horseheads Brewing Company, something great is immediately going to happen afterwards. I wouldn't quite say it works like that, but it has happened twice in a row. So, you can take that what you will. But, you know, we stayed at Horseheads Brewing from, I arrived pretty early, just a little bit after 5. And my friends arrived around like 5:30 roughly. And then we stayed pretty much until the brewery closed at 8. And we all had to get dinner. So we went to Nick's and Horseheads. I've talked about Nick's a couple times, and I really do like Nick's. I really do. And we had a great time and a bunch of laughs. We shared a bunch of memories. And it was funny. We took so long getting to because Nick stopped serving food at 9, and it was like 8:20, 8:30 by the time we actually got to Nick's. And we spent so long trying to find a table and trying to sit down, trying to order food. It got to the point where I had to be like, guys, we probably should order food soon. Otherwise, we're not going to get any dinner at all. So, you know, we got dinner, and it was a lot of fun. Nick's food is awesome. I think Nick's has some of the best bar food in the area, if not the best bar food in the area. Their wings, not quite as good as Double Room, but don't sleep on them. Like, those wings they're starting to grow on me, if that makes sense. They are very good. Again, not quite as good as Double Room, but still very good. Anyway, and it was very much after closing when we stayed at Nick's. And last minute, we decided to go to this one place called Rosars. And I actually had been to Rosars one other time ever. Way back in 2018. Actually, not even a whole month after I got back from Denver. And I went to Rosars because they had a Halloween party. I went to the Halloween party. I went as that Halloween, I went as a Super Mario, actually. Little did I know that 5 years later, Super Mario would have his own movie. Anyway, so we go to Rosars, and as fate would have it, they were doing karaoke. So, for the second time this year, I sang karaoke. And this time, I finally got to do a song that I actually wanted to do. I mean, don't get me wrong, doing If I Can Dream when I sang karaoke at the Legends back in August, If I Can Dream by Elvis Presley is a song I wanted to sing, but I was going to wait until I sang karaoke a few more times before I wound up doing it. It's just that the song selection at Legends really wasn't that great, so you know, you gotta take what you can get. Here at Rosars, this guy had infinitely more songs. So I finally got to do a song for karaoke I've always wanted to do. And speaking of that one girl who broke my heart, the song was Telephone Line by Electric Light Orchestra. That song was actually meant to be for the girl who would wind up breaking my heart. I mean, obviously she wasn't there last night, and obviously there's no way in hell she'd ever hear what I sang. But doing karaoke for me really has been a kind of closure for me, because I always wind up feeling so emotionally relieved. I still gotta work on a few things. I close my eyes way too much when I sing. And I could stand to be a little more fluid when I sing too. But I like to think that last night I did better than I did back in August. So it's a work in progress. There's definitely things I need to improve on. There's definitely some things that I can definitely say I did already improve on. So, yeah. Again, work in progress. But overall, I would definitely say it was great. And because Telephone Line by Electric Light Orchestra is a song I always wanted to do, And because it's a great song for a tenor one, such as myself, naturally, I crushed it. Seriously, man, my friends were cheering me on and like everything. And like the DJ, oh my God. Well, here's the thing. After I sang the song, I did that trick where you take the microphone, take it like at the bottom end, because like the thing you sing into would be up here, at the bottom would be here. And I like did one of those, like flipped in the air and like grabbed it again. I did one of that. And the DJ is like, that mother, you know what, came to sing. And I, like when he said that, I was almost on the floor laughing. Good God. So yeah, I guess, like, don't get me wrong, singing karaoke was great, the food at Nick's was great, the fact I got to try some of the beers at the Horseheads Brewing was great. I had this chocolate Rocky Road stout, I had a peach, a beer made from peaches, which is really good. I had a pumpkin spice ale, which had like a sugar rim. They were all really good. The food I had was good. Singing karaoke, obviously the best thing ever. Well, I say would be. The best thing ever, without fail, was I got to do it with my friends. The people that I love and care about. I mean, I love my family too, but, you know, I love my family. That's a given. My friends, these are people that I really don't see very often. I mean, we're all getting older, so to say it's a treat that we all see each other is an understatement. So, the fact that, you know, I got to be with my friends, that's what made last night truly special. And it's actually the sort of thing I always set out to do whenever I go out on my own to do anything. Which is why this year has been such a good year for me. Because again, you know, every time I've had a great evening or a great time doing anything, I was on my own. I came to the conclusion that, you know, I wanted to do this on my own, so I did. And each and every experience has been more and more rewarding and gratifying. And it's through that self-gratification that back in April, I figured out what self-love is. I know I probably shared this story already, but for those who haven't heard it before, the morning after because I mentioned this in that video that morning, but I had finally discovered what self-love is, but I wasn't entirely sure. So it was later that night, it was a Sunday, my mom came back from work because I was visiting my folks, and I told her, you know, what happened and how me going out, you know, this sort of like gratification, all that. And then I asked her, is this what self-love is? And she said, yeah. And it was then I started to cry. My entire life, while not spoken to directly on this, I grew up believing that I was never going to know what love is, self-love or otherwise. And yes, some circumstances in my life were tragic enough where obviously they're the reasons why. And don't worry, I'll get to that in December. Trust me. So, in that regard, the fact that I'm here, and I can tell you that I discovered what self-love is, in my own way, I've risen above that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've come very far, but I still have very far to go. I can tell you that as long as, well, it's easy for me to say that as long as stuff like last night keeps happening, yeah, 2023 is going to be a great year. In fact, again, if it wasn't for my own stubbornness and the fact that I haven't gotten to do something I really wanted to do, I would have already said 2023 was a great year. But, again, I'm stubborn. There's still something I really want to do. And by that, and by extension, take part in a bet that I have with one of my very best friends. So, naturally, after a night like last night, I'm determined now more than ever to make it happen. And for those of you not keeping track, I've said this before, by the way. I don't necessarily have to be, quote unquote, successful doing this thing I want to do. Honestly, me doing this thing is a sense of, like, I owe it to myself to do this. Whether I succeed or not. Because whether or not I succeed, I would say 2023 was a great year if I even attempt it. Of course, I hope I do succeed. I want to succeed. Like, full disclosure, I don't think I'm going to succeed. In fact, that's the bet my friend and I have. That if I don't succeed at this thing that I really want to do, he's going to give me $20. Yes, one of my very best friends has that much faith in me. That's why he's one of my very best friends. So, I mean, he knows that the bet's on. And he also, I don't think anyone's going, if I wind up succeeding outside of how I'm going to feel on the inside, I don't think anyone's going to be more shocked or happy than my best friend, or one of my very best friends. I have a few very best friends. Personally, I don't really believe in the whole ride or die scenario. Like, you need to have a few best friends. You do. And I can tell you that, I saw some of my very best friends last night, and I met some new people too. And, I keep all of my closest friends close to my heart. That's why they call my closest friends. And, we're coming up, I know it's only just after Labor Day. It's far too early for me to say, it's too early for me to say we're in, the fourth quarter of 2023. But I think summer was just kind of a slow period, I suppose. Not much happened in the realm of me going out and doing the things I wanted to do necessarily. But that was kind of to be expected. Because, I'm going up to, basically, I'm going up to the lake tonight, but first, I'm going to Horseheads home opener. Which, speaking of football, how about those Lions? I mean, yeah, technically I was wrong when I made my pick yesterday, but major props go to Dan Campo, the coach of the Detroit Lions, and the Detroit Lions themselves. And shout out to this one guy who, I was watching the game at Rosars after I was done singing karaoke with my friends, and we saw the end of the game. There was this one fan who said Jared Goff, who's the current quarterback of the Detroit Lions, is undefeated against Pat Mahomes. And that's actually true. Because Jared Goff used to play for the Rams, and the Rams beat the Chiefs against Mahomes at Chiefs Stadium. And now Jared Goff did it again. So, football's back. I got to have some of the very best beer this area has to offer. I had some of the best bar food that the area has to offer at Nick's. I sang karaoke. And I got to do it all, with some of my very best friends. You couldn't ask for a better night. So I'm not going to ask for a better night. However, it gives me hope I can always try. It gives me something to shoot for every day. Because I could have things as good as last night, to be sure. They're just going to be for different reasons, probably. And that's fine. But as long as stuff like this keeps happening, and I'm not expecting it to happen every day, but as long as it does, every now and again, I'm for sure going to say that 2023 is going to be a great year. But we got to wait just a few more months to see. I hope y'all like this video. If you'd like to subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I am very humbled in this video for all of you guys watching and enjoying today. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. And remember, if any of you guys want to talk or channels, we'll be here to lend you those back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.